Let me know if the audio is good. Like I said, I've never done this before, so no clue if this is going to look good, sound good. Happy to play with the settings as best I can while playing at the table. I've got it set up to wait for the big blind, so we got a minute here before we're dealt in. Hey, how's it going, Joe? Thanks for joining. We're on a, I think I set it up for a 3-minute delay here. So if you send a message, I won't see it for 3 minutes. You won't hear back from me for 3 minutes. King, queen, we got a limper. It's a pretty big raise, but like I said, I'm a donk at the Microstakes. I'm going to call, even though maybe I should fold there. This board probably shouldn't hit the guy that raised, so yeah, okay. I'm not surprised they check behind. I'm tempted to lead here. I think I will. I'll lead for, let's do $1.50. Curious to see what he does here. Ugh. I was anticipating the raise. I'm like, okay, did he check back with like a hand like ace king, or did he flop a set and slow play? Like, those are the things that I think about. We're gonna, right off the bat, I'm gonna look like an idiot, no doubt. But I'm gonna call once and see what happens on the turn, on the river, excuse me. We have the king of spades blocker, so I don't think he's probably raising like with a flush draw there, and he probably would have bet out on the flop if he had the flush draw. I feel like we're losing to ace king or a set here with the way he acted. Jack queen misses. He's gonna shove, I know it. Okay, yeah, so ace king. I think the stream might have started after I began talking, so apologize. Apologies on my end. Like I said, I've never done one of these before. Trying to figure out the YouTube interface for it while getting the software running. But yeah, thanks for joining along. Looks like the stream is kicked off now. Like I said, it's 3-minute delay, so trying to get things in tune between the software, the OBS software I'm running with the 3-minute delay, and the YouTube Studio waiting for me to click the start button. Got sidetracked by the software and was sitting out here. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see what we had here. 4-6 offsuit. Okay, not too worried about that. Yeah, see, again, like, this is a hand that I'll limp for like 15 cents to win $1. Maybe I shouldn't be, especially being in small blind out of position, but sometimes you can hit something big and win big, and like, you know when you're ahead and you know when you're behind a lot of times with these kinds of hands, so I don't mind doing it personally. That's kind of my approach to poker in a nutshell. If I can get in cheap, I can figure out, like, I'm pretty good at figuring out after the flop where I stand most of the time, so I don't mind playing some post-flop poker with some questionable hands. I know a lot of people are you know, I get some negative feedback about you know, some of the hands I play, And I have been working on tightening up. I do play a bit too loose, I admit. Okay, we got two pair here, so I'm going to see bet here. I didn't see bet on the flop with bottom pair since I had two callers. If it was heads up and I was in position, I would have see bet, but given that we were out of position, had two callers, had bottom pair, I didn't want to see bet there, so just bet a buck here. Take it down. Got 10 viewers. Thanks for joining, everybody. So I'm curious, did you guys all see the, did YouTube notify you about the stream ahead of time? Or did you just see it this morning when you hopped on? Joe, this is cash. This is 10.25 cents. Graham, don't worry, I'm gonna bluff plenty. Probably, no, I won't bluff like I do live as much probably, unless there's just like a perfect spot for it. I'm more hesitant to do that in these online games, I'd say. All right, I was just blowing up my thumbnail in the corner since I've got some extra space here. If a donk shove gets him off ace king, Graham, yeah, I doubt it does, honestly. With how big his raise was on the turn, I'm surprised he checked back, honestly. He probably got scared of that third spade on the river. I did have the king of spades blocker, but you know, maybe I could have shoved. I don't know. I don't expect people at these stakes to fold to bluffs or have good enough reads or what have you to kind of get away from hands. Maybe I'm not giving people enough credit. I don't know. I know the micro stakes are more challenging than small stakes at live poker, so maybe I should be giving people more credit, and that's part of what I don't know about online poker. I probably should put on the overlay that we're on a 3-minute delay so you can see it on the screen for anybody that joins the stream. I wonder if I can do that with my software here. Looks like I can. Let's see, where does that? Not sure where that text went when I put it on the screen. Ah, I see now. I'm kind of tempted to raise this in, but I don't raise this at king 9, but I don't expect the limper to fold is the problem. I'm just gonna fold. I think if it was folded to me, I would have opened it, but I'm not going to because of the limper. Okay, here we go. So now I can do this. Put it pretty small in the corner here. There. Now people will know. I'm going to call this 30 cents. There's 2 players, multi-way. It's a good multi-way hand. Not a good flop for us, though. Although, I mean, we are the most likely person to hit this board hard. I could, like, donk lead here and kind of see what happens, but I expect any overcards to call. I think a check raise is probably a better option if I wanted to rep something on this board. I think it might be hard to get an ace to fold. There's a lot of people that call. I found I was playing around a little bit yesterday. I found that a lot of people with gut shots are just willing to call down at these stakes, it seems like. So if anybody has an ace, even if I check raise here, I think we're still gonna get calls. I'm gonna top off my stacks too. Graham, good timing. He said, make sure you top off on table 2. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this guy raised, this guy called. Yeah, I think if it was heads up, I could maybe bluff this, but I'm not going to multi-way. Cool. All right, thanks, Joe. Yeah, they gave you a notice and you knew ahead of time. That's cool. All right. Just trying to figure out if I got this stuff set up properly. It sounds like I mostly do, you know. And you're responding to me, so that makes it sound like you can hear the volume's okay. You can hear me. That's good. Can you guys hear the table noises? I had to play around with some software to make sure the desktop sounds were captured as well as the mic volume. So hopefully that's working and you can hear everything okay. All right, we got the big blind. We won a hand, you guys. If you see me looking off to the side, I've got a second monitor here, second screen. My laptop screen's off to the side. I'm using my main monitor here in the front, and then I've got my laptop screen on the side. The laptop screen's where I've got the chat up and the stream stats. So I'm responding to the chat over here on the side, and I've got my poker tables on the main screen. So yeah, I played on Bovada. I'm trying to think of when. I think I'd played around a little bit. I lived in Colorado before I moved here to Texas, and that was about like 6-7 years ago. I think I just like threw a little bit of money on there, and played around. Like I knew I wasn't expecting to win. Like I'm not. Do I play with the ace deuce? Probably shouldn't. It's a pretty big raise, but screw it. I'm gonna do it for the hell of it. Yeah, I threw some money online just to dunk around, you know, back like 7 or 8 years ago, like I said, but didn't play on it too much. 25 cents, like what? This guy's not folding for anything. He's got 88 cents more, so I'm just gonna fold. There's no reason to stick around. Yeah, so I have before, but not a whole lot. I just threw 500 bucks on here. I tinkered around a little bit yesterday just to get familiar with the software again. But that's mostly it. I had some interesting hands yesterday that I did. I did like a test run recording. I might just like pull out 1 or 2 of those interesting hands I played into little short videos to share. The YouTube, I think it was just taking a long time to process. I couldn't download the video yesterday, so that's why I didn't do it ahead of time. But yeah, that's my intention as long as I'm able to download the video at some point. Do I try to steal here? I'm gonna give this guy a walk. All right, we're down to 3-handed, so I'm just gonna, we got an ace on the button, I'm gonna steal. I think we could call or fold here. I'm gonna fold. If it was suited, maybe I'd call. I'm just gonna fold and give it to him. Okay, Joe, it's yeah, it's small to watch on your Android. Yeah, so there might be some improvements I can do next time, like focusing on the main table. I don't have the software set up for that today, but I'll look into that if I do another one of these streams. So we get re-raised. I don't think it's worth defending here. I haven't seen this Guy 3-bet it all. I'm just gonna fold the a6. Do any of you guys play online at all? Or have you used Bovada? Are you live players? Where do you play? Or do you play at all? This guy posted. I think we could raise here. He just posted you could have any 2 cards. I don't really want to see him defend. I'd rather just take it down with the force since there's not too many great flops for us. Awesome. Good. I'm glad you can hear. Thanks for confirming that, Joe. Okay, cool. So we took it down. I don't use these checkbox buttons too much. Like when I have chips out there, that is. But I have no intentions of trying to steal with 4 high out of position or anything like that. So here I don't have chips. I'm on the button though, so yeah, okay, somebody raised, so there's no chance of playing this hand. I'm just gonna check the fold button. Nothing exciting yet. Haven't really gotten any big hands. I think King Queen is the best one we had, and of course we were up against Ace King, so lost a few chips there. Otherwise, just stole a few blinds. Tiger, have I ever played on ACR? No, I have not played on ACR. How does that one, have you played on that one? How does that one compare to Bovada, which is what I'm using today? Yeah, I'm in the US, so there's not a lot of online gambling options that are legal, at least not in Texas, which is where I live. If I was in another state, I think, Poker Stars and some others, I was gonna say GG Poker, but I don't think that's legal in the U.S. at all. I think just Poker Stars and a couple others are legal in specific states that have passed laws to support online gambling. I'm gonna defend here with the ace in position, blind versus blind. We get top pair on a very coordinated flush heavy board where we don't have a heart. So I'll call another bet. I don't want to raise. We're losing to any other ace. If he's got a heart, he's gonna want to stick around, so no reason to raise there for that reason. He might think that I'm calling down with the flush, so we might see a few bets, and I'm willing to call another one. I want to see how big he bets here. 210, so he likes his hand. He wants to get me off mine. I'll call once more, even though I think he could have a bigger ace here, but he could just be doing this with like a king of hearts X. 7, 8, 9. So like if he had like jack 10 with the jack of hearts, gets there. I don't think that's as likely. He checks back now, so we might have the best hand. There's no value in betting here though. Yeah, okay, cool. So our ace was good. He was just trying to bet twice in case I had the flush draw, it looks like. Tiger Exotic, you live in Texas also, and you just got your rig together to grind some online, and you're not sure where to play. Yeah, so I haven't played much online. I don't have really any great suggestions. I think like Bovada, Ignition, they're kind of like the same set of software, different like I guess owners or networks, but the same owner if I'm correct on that in that regard. Somebody else could probably say better than me, but there's like you can play on those ones in Texas. They're not run out of Texas. I think Bovada is like Latvia or something like that. So I don't think there's necessarily any guarantees. Things go wrong. Like the government's not going to help you. You lose your money, I guess. So I guess there's risk in that regards. But I'm gonna limp with the Jack 9 here since Sky limped in as well. So I can't speak to any other places. I couldn't tell you about ACR or anything like that. I could talk about some of the old places of the past that I played, like Poker Stars back in the days, Full Till. I think those are the main two that I did a long time ago, back in the mid 2000s. But obviously, those are not. I don't think Full Till's still around even, is it? Like I know there was some shit that went down with Full Till and a bunch of the pros, and I didn't really follow the news back then. But we're gonna fold the Jack 9. Yeah, so like I said, I haven't done too much recently on online poker. I haven't followed the online poker world. Just kind of dipping my toes back in now. I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I meant to grab a drink before I came in here, but I was running a little bit behind my morning routine. I don't really have a routine except for when I take my daughter to school, and she finished school yesterday, so I had no routine this morning. Tried to set one up, but still woke up a little bit later than I meant to, so didn't get my tea like I normally do in the morning. Haven't had breakfast yet. Didn't grab a water before I came in here, so my voice probably sounds a little bit kind of hoarse and raspy compared to later in the day. Tiger, you said not sure where to play, and then you said Texas Card House in Dallas. I'm not sure if you're saying that you played there, or if you're asking if I played there. I've played at Texas Card House in Austin, not in Dallas. So I've only been around a few places in on the Austin area, never any other cities yet. So, all right, we got a big hand here. We got aces in the big blind. We got a raise and a 3-bet. I'm gonna 4-bet here. I don't want the third player to join along. Let's see, what is pot? Yeah, I'll just pot it. We're out of position. Like 3x would be $6. We're out of position. I mean, I probably could, just we have like, it's not like we have kings. We're worried about an ace on the flop or anything like that. I'm gonna raise this one up. I'm just gonna do straight 3x since we're the most out of position here. Okay, well, we're all in here, obviously. Aces versus kings. Hope we don't get coolered. Awesome. So we double up. Here I'm going to c-bet on this flop. Probably don't have to bet too big. If he doesn't have a king or a queen, he'll fold. Unless he has like Jack 10 or something like that. It's a rainbow board though, so not too many draws. We get raised, so definitely behind here, and we're going to get away. In Florida, Joe, any site we can play starting in Florida, I don't know. I'm not sure. You could look up Bovada. I'm not sure about online gambling in Florida. If you just did a quick search, like I know some of the other states, the online poker rooms, I think work with the local casinos or like the state casinos in terms of like how they operate. So like, WSOP.com is an option for states that permit that. Whoops. All right, this is pretty loose. I'm gonna call with our suited king on the button. This is something that I do in the live tables sometimes. I'll just, if I have like a big suited card, I'll just call it because it's easy for me to figure out where I stand after the flop, and it's easy for me to get away from it. So this is a board that hits us, I think, bigger than him, and his bet's only like a third pot. Like that bet sizing to me feels kind of scared of the board, and I think we can raise it up and kind of scare him with this board. Yeah, see, like I said, he folded right away. So that's one of those ones where like I raised, but if he comes back over the top, like obviously we know we're behind, we can get away from it easily. But his bet sizing indicated that he was kind of scared, and that's not really a board that hits him with an early position raise very hard. So with his early position raise, I'm thinking he's either got like big cards, paint, or a big pocket pair, or any pocket pair. I think any pocket pair will raise there at these stakes. So like if he continued there, I'm going to give him credit for having something, and I'll give up at that point unless we get some miracle card on the turn. I folded the ace-8 here. There was a raise from this guy. I'm not sure if he was first or second to act. If all these people were sitting in, I wasn't paying close attention. I was focused on talking about that last hand. But I folded the ace-8. It's similar to that. I had ace-8 earlier, and I folded as well. I'm being kind of tight. But I feel like it's just kind of a trouble hand. It's not suited, so we're not looking for a flush. If we flop an ace, it's questionable if we're going to have the best kicker. I know that's kind of contradictory to that ace deuce hand earlier, but that was blind versus blind, and we were suited, which is why I got involved. I'm gonna 3-bet the nines here. I don't want to go full 3x, so I'm gonna do 230. So a little over 3x. I meant to say I don't want to do full pot here is what I meant to say. We're in position, so I'm okay to not make it like a full pot size bet since we already have the power position. If he comes back over the top, yeah, it's an ugly spot. It's like, I think calling here is probably bad. I think it's jam or fold. I don't know. This is one of the tougher spots for me where I kind of like, if I was playing live and we were deeper, I would definitely call with deep stacks. We're not very deep though. I'm just gonna get away from this. This guy is really interested in his hand. Let me know what you think about that nines hand. What would you do there? Because that could be a leak in my game, and I need to do a little bit more studying in spots like that. I need to do a little bit more studying in general with poker, honestly. I play more than I study for sure. I don't do the studying I should. I need to join. I've been thinking about what's it called? CLP, Crush Life Poker. One of my buddies who's actually in the chat, Graham, who was in the chat earlier. I know he uses it and likes it. I've been meaning to check it out. I just haven't invested the funds in it yet. It's a little bit pricey, but I know it would pay for itself. So. I don't know. What training sites do you guys use? Curious if anybody uses training sites or training materials, reading, watching vlogs, watching just YouTube videos or whatever it might be. It's a min raise here. This is again one of those spots where I should fold. I want to defend. I know where I stand when the flop comes. I'm gonna get away from that 6 high there. We pick up a good shot. He checked back. I don't really want to bluff at this though. There's so much he could call with here on this board, and he could have checked back like a big hand. I've seen a couple of people do that and be tricky in these stakes here. We river the straight though, so he hasn't shown a ton of interest. I'll just do like a 60-cent bet here. Okay, yeah, we take it down. Cool, I'm glad you can hear. Thanks for confirming, Graham. I haven't decided how long I'm going to play on the stream. I was thinking I'll do it for an hour or maybe an hour and a half. I just have some time before work this morning. So I started at 7:30 my time, so I'll go until 8:30 or 9 and then go to work. This is not my work, unfortunately. This is fun for me, hobby, play when I can. Schedule's pretty tight, so I don't get to play as often as I'd like, but I do when I can. This is kind of indicative of what playing live is like, in the sense that it's just a waiting game for hands. Like most of the time you're folding. It's just fold, 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 wait for something fun to come. And if you're card dead for a long time, it's like it's tempting to get involved in hands that you shouldn't. And that's kind of the hard part of poker, to be honest. The king 9 here, if it folds to me, I'll open on the button. I have no reason to call here with it though. King 9, especially offsuit, it's like not a very good hand. It's hard to make the nuts with it. Like king 10 is borderline for me. Like that's one of those ones where like you could get in the nut straight with it. King 9, you can't get the nut straight with it. Like if a jack, 10 jack queen comes on the board, ace king still beats you. So that's like a 3-gapper is what that's called. So don't like to play the 3-gappers. All right, this is totally something I will do live. I'll raise these like weird small cards. 2-gapper. This is not a good hand. I'll easily fold to any resistance. Suited ace on the button, or resist. So we get a really good flop. We flop a pair and a straight flush draw. So I would totally get all the money in here. I'm actually going to bet kind of like somewhat small and give him a chance to come over the top so that I can 3-bet and get it in if he decides to play back. We'll bet 70 cents on the right. All right, so we just take it down on the left. I'm gonna check this one back. Like he could have an ace that he's calling down with. He easily could have a flush draw. I think there's 2 ways to go. We can bet here and check the river, or check here and bet. Sorry, I think it's the same device. Check here, bet the river, or bet here and check the river. I'm actually gonna bet one more time. I'm gonna make it not too big though. If he calls again, I'm just checking the river. If he raises here, probably folding. Yeah, so I'm just going to check back. I don't like that river. It's a terrible river. But we did get some extra value. That's why I wanted to bet on the turn. Like, if the flush comes on the... If I check the turn and the flush comes on the river, I can't bet. But given that there were still draws out there, I feel like we can get value from anybody chasing the draw, which is why I think betting the turn was a little bit better there. And we saw that he had, what was it, either second or third pair. I got to pull up the hand history. But he had second or third pair and still just called us down, didn't believe us. He didn't even have a draw to the flush or anything like that. So, yeah, we got paid for it. Let's see here. Yeah, he had 8-9. So it was second pair on the flop and it was fourth pair on the river. But, yeah, it works out for us. Ace three, not suited, small ace, under the gun, just gonna fold. Jonathan Little, yeah, that's another one that I've seen. So Henry, thanks for sharing that one. One of the things that I don't know much about is whether these sites are more focused on cash versus tourney play. So I have heard that Crush Life Poker is better for cash games compared to some of the other training sites. I'm curious from your perspective, Jonathan Little's site, is that for cash or tournaments or both? I play more cash games myself. I would like to play more tournaments. It's just that I don't have as much time for tournaments. You gotta have a lot more upfront time to invest to make it all the way through a tournament versus cash where you can just play for a couple hours, kind of squeeze it in, which I don't like to squeeze it in too much because then I feel rushed when I'm playing. But you can play for a shorter time span is really all I'm trying to say, which is why the cash games are a little bit more enticing to me, at least at the moment. There's two different styles of play for sure. The cash games that I play in anyway, they can get pretty deep. You can rebuy, obviously, play a lot more questionable hands. You can't do that as much in tournaments with the questionable hands since you have limited resources is really what it comes down to. But yeah, I will check out and compare these on my own as well. These sites, since it's something I've been meaning to do. No reason to stick around with the queen high. If this guy called here, this is one of the hands where like I maybe would join along. Well, I'd probably join along in the big blind, but not in the small blind. So yeah, I'm just gonna fold either way. I think even regardless of whether you raise or not, I would just fold it. But that's one of those ones where if I had that in the big blind and there was a small raise and a call, like a min raise and a call, I might join along. I'm gonna raise this on the button since we have position, we're short-handed, and we got kings on the right, so another big one. Hopefully we don't get a walk. Okay, so we got raise and a call. So if we hit pot, let's see here. 3x would be 225. I'll make it, yeah, I'll go with pot since there's interest multi-way. And we're out of position to the guy that raised initially. And I will get it all in here pre-flop if this guy comes over the top. We get flatted. Let's see if we get flat in both spots. Just don't want to see an ace on the flop. We're like a 3 club board or something. I think this guy disconnected over here. There's the ace on the flop, and we got called both ways, so I think we just got to give this one up, unfortunately. There's no value, I don't think, in trying to see back here. We're out of position to both these guys, and we got 2 calls and a 3-bet pot, so pretty ugly flop for us. Kind of sucks. All right, king queen, another playable hand for us. I would 3-bet this one if this guy opens. I'm not gonna do it immediately. There's like timing tells. So we'll pause and then hit the raise button here. I love having these kinds of hands limp in. Yeah, if I could see pre-flop with that, that's a lot of fun for me. So we flop a gut shot, backdoor flush draw, nothing major here. We take that one down with the 3-bet, so that's nice. I'll go set mining here with the 4s. Just call. I probably should have waited a little bit longer before hitting the call button. We get a free turn, but don't hit anything. And even if we hit the straight now, it's not the nuts since Jack Queen is ahead of us, but checks around. All right, well, we get to see the full run out. We have the nut low. We're not playing high-low hold'em. This guy re-raises. 7 deuce, we'll fold that. So it's 275 to win 785. Like, we're not getting the right odds to hit a set, I don't believe. I think the quick math is we got 2 outs 3 times on the flop, so essentially like 6 outs. And like, you know, with so many cards left in the deck, what is it, 30 some, we're not getting the right odds. But the implied odds are bigger, so like, I'm gonna call even though I should fold here. And if we hit a 4, we'll get all in, but I'm easily gonna fold here because we missed. So I think the right play there is to technically fold, but like I said, I'm a dunk at these stakes. I can't help myself is really what it comes down to. All right, so we'll fold the 8-10. This is a loose raise, but we're in the hijack. Queen 10 here. So we flop a open-ended straight draw here. So I will c-bet this. Let's do 75. I'll do 72. This is a board that could hit him hard. I think sometimes we'll see a check raise there. Didn't that one though. Let's raise this one up. We got the ace here. Hang on one moment. I got my daughter at the door. Yeah, go ahead. All right, so we took it down with the ace. Fold the jack. Ace 8, yeah, I don't want to raise that offsuit under the gun. If it was suited, I probably would have. These two got a cooler here, aces versus jacks. Got a good hand in the big blind. I probably wouldn't 3-bet this if the button opens. I might just call. I think it's close on this one. Like king queen, I would 3-bet. If this guy opens, I'll 3-bet since we've got position. We get walked, so never mind. This guy walk too. If it was 6-4 suited, I might raise it. Probably shouldn't, but I might. I'm getting a lot of 6-4s today. So yeah, I'll just fold this one too for the same reason. I'm gonna call here with our. We've got a suited ace. Could get a wheel. So ace 5 is like ace 5 is better than ace 6 here because like we could hit a straight with ace 5, not with ace 6. We flop 2 pair. And he immediately get checked to. He didn't even think about it, so like I don't think a big pair like immediately checks back here. So I'm gonna bet like 80 cents. Like, I don't really want to encourage him to call along because there's a lot of turns we don't like. Like, that one, I don't hate, though. We'll raise the ace-jack. Lose an ace-3, but, like, I feel like ace-3 would have c-bet there. I'm gonna raise the bet up a little bit. 50, and this is one where I'll check the river, too, if he calls again for sure. Like, okay, yeah, so he just had 9s. I'm surprised he didn't c-bet that flop. That's really interesting play. Played that really passively. This is close. I'm gonna defend with the ace-jack in position. I'm gonna check this one back. We're either like way ahead or way behind here. Like ace king, ace queen. We are losing 2. If he's got like kings, we're ahead now, or queens, we're ahead now. And checking is like kind of just gives a little bit of deception here, where like if I bet immediately on the flop, he's gonna be like, okay, well he's got the ace. If I check, he'll question my bet on the turn. If he leads here now, like this is the way ahead, way behind. Like him leading here makes me think, okay, he doesn't have kings or queens. He probably has a big ace. He could have a big ace here, or he's got like air. He's got nothing and he's just trying to bluff now. So I will call once. I'm not really like happy about his bet here, but now we pick up a bow, so I'm not worried about anything at all except for the 5. I'm not expecting him to have pocket aces here. If he does, then that's terrible cooler. And I will just get all the money in here. So we'll just ship it. I'll wait a second here and click the button. If you got aces, then so be it. We're probably just chopping the pot and adding to the rake here by raising though. And he folds, so he was bluffing. I'm not going to defend the ace-3 here. Ace-4. No, I'm not going to raise that one, even though I'm like always tempted to. Suited king, I will raise this up. I'll do a full 3x since we're out of position. We would have hit second pair if we raised here, but it's being results oriented. Okay, this guy 3-bets. This is one of those ones where like I want to see a flop, but we're gonna be out of position. This guy is putting on the aggression. I'm just gonna give him credit and we'll fold. Our left board's going a lot better than our right board. You guys might be wondering, like, why do I raise different amounts? You know, pre-flop, like here I did 65, I'm gonna go I did 60, one other time I did 75. It kind of depends on a few things. I try not to base it upon my hand so much as my positioning in terms of like where I'm sitting at the table, like am I first act, am I last act, am I on the button, are there other limpers, and then will I be in position or out of position after the flop are kind of the things that I'm thinking about for my raise sizes. So if I'm gonna be out of position and I've got a good hand and I want to raise it, like I am tempted to raise bigger because I don't want people to tag along and have me play a hand out of position. This is okay, so we do get 3-bet here. We will be in position though, so I am tempted to call. We aren't suited though, which is kind of, you know, that doesn't make me as happy. I am gonna call once. Let's see what this guy does too. So we pick up a straight draw. So it's interesting. Even this guy if this guy has an overpair, like this is still a scary board for him. And the thing is, if he leaves out, like calling here is not easy because of this guy behind. So I'm tempted to. I think there's a couple options here. We could check, and if this guy bets, that would give this guy room to call, and we could raise, and that would be really strong. And I wouldn't be mad about getting the money in here against this guy, but this guy is pretty deep, so I'm gonna bet like $4 and see what happens. I'm gonna repot this one on the right. There's a lot of button steals that happen on these sites. If we get played back at, then we can easily get away. We do hit top pair now. I don't think that's a really good card for us necessarily versus his hand range that he has. Like ace king we're behind. Any pocket pair, aces, kings, jacks, tens we're behind. Queens is the only one that we're ahead of now. So I'm just gonna check this one back. And yeah, if he leads on the river, it's not really a great spot for us. Like there's not much. We'd be ace queen beats us, ace king beats us. We're ahead of ace jack. But does ace jack 3-bet out of position? Maybe. Yeah, I feel like we're behind most of the time here when he leads. I don't think we can call. Kind of a gross spot. Yeah, he's very interested in the hand. Like there's really just not much we beat here. Like queen jack we beat. 10-9. I bet he doesn't. I don't think he 3-bets 10-9 or queen jack, to be honest. I think everything he 3-bets is still ahead of us here. So I'm just gonna fold. And I believe Bovada lets you look up the hands your opponents had 24 hours later. So I'm gonna look that one up tomorrow. Raise this one, why not? 6-4 again. We're just getting 6-4s all day. So we flop second pair here. Whatever, I'll get away from that one. Okay, so let's see about this. Do half pot. We get called. So this is one where I'm checking, not because I'm giving up, but like I don't want to bloat the pot with second pair here. So I'm gonna check it over and see what he does. I'm hoping for a check back. If he bets, not happy about it. That's a huge bet. Like it's 1.5 times the pot. What? It makes me think he's got like a random like 2-pair and he hopes that I call. So like he's probably got like a queen 6 or queen 3, like something that proved on the turn. I don't know. 6-3 or a set. Yeah, we're not calling here. Like maybe he's just totally bluffing too. Like possible. Choking on my water over here. All right, so I called with the 8-10, the one gapper in position. This happened, I think this is like the 13th this has happened, where we called to play trying to call a heads up multi-way pot and somebody 3-bets, but then there's a flat call. If this guy flat calls too, I might join along. It's like $3 to win, like $16 at that point. Okay, he came over the top. This makes it easy. surprised to see the shove there on the flop. King high board. All right, under gun raise, gonna fold the ace-8 here. So this ace-8 is suited. I would raise this one. Let's see what the under the gun player does. See, like, I don't really like calling as the next person in the pot because we still got 2 people behind us in position, plus both the blinds. It's one of those spots where, like, I might get a little bit loose here and re-raise it. But I feel like we get more information that way, and I feel like the aggression has more chance of winning us the pot than just kind of being passive and calling there. We do get a flat call from the small blind. And we'll see if this guy comes back over the top. Okay. Not a great flop for us. We are in position, but given like his flatting range, I feel like hits probably the queen or jack here. Same with this guy here. Like, I don't see a lot of value in trying to bet here. I don't think we're gonna get many folds. I'm gonna check and see if we can peel something on the river, like a spade or a straight draw card or even an ace. So there's an ace. So we're behind like ace jack, I think is a likely hand that just flat calls here, but he doesn't lead, so I don't think he has ace jack. I think like he probably, the small blind here has the highest chance of having ace jack given the flat call, but given the fact that he checked twice, I don't think so anymore. So I'm gonna bet, how big do I want it? There's straight draws out there, and we didn't bet on the flop, so I think we can get called by a bit. So I'm gonna bet $3 and see what happens. Like, we don't really want to see a raise. I'm okay with a call as long as we blank on the river. Yeah, so we get a blank on the river. I'm checking this one back no matter what. We just have one pair at this point. Yeah, so okay, so we got value from a jack by checking the flop and betting the turn. Like, we were behind on the flop like I thought. I thought these guys had a better chance of having a queen or jack than us, and that was correct. And checking was the right play there. I don't think he was gonna, like, clearly he wasn't gonna fold on the flop with second pair. He didn't fold on the turn with third pair, so we weren't getting a fold by betting there. I will raise this one on the right, blind versus blind. I would have liked it more if it was suited. This guy's been 3-betting us a lot, hasn't he? I feel like there are some hands here that, like, if it was 10-9 suited, I would consider 4-betting, because I feel like this guy's been 3-betting us a lot. I might just be misremembering. I'll have to go back and watch the stream again afterwards, but I feel like these blind versus blind opportunities is a good time to, like, 3-bet in the big blind to defend. Let's see here. This is we got 2 suited. Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna fold that one on the right anyway. It just timed out. This is a hideous hand again, though. It's like I know if I'm ahead if I flop it, and I can easily get away if I don't. So I'm just gonna call for 25 cents to win. $2. We're getting pretty good odds there. 8-1. What are we down to? 4-handed on the right. Yeah, like we're 4-handed. I'm just gonna raise the best hand in poker here, 6-9 of hearts. This is a pretty good board for us to see bet. Rainbow, king high board, like that could hit us. So bet kind of big on the bigger side a little bit more than half pot. We get called, we know we're behind. We pick up a gut shot, so 7 would give us a straight. I could bet here again. He called us really fast on the flop, and there's not really any draws on the turn on the flop. So like, I don't think he's trying to outdraw us. I think he's got a pair, or he's just floating with some random cards, which I've seen here. I'm gonna check this one back, and hopefully we kill a 7. We don't. I think a 9 could have been good here too. You know, he could have like a 5 or something that's just calling us. I don't know. He checks again. We're not beating much, like 6-4, 6-7, an ace. I feel like we're gonna get called if we bet here a lot of the time. I don't think we have to bet too much. I'm gonna bet here, but I expect to get called. So yeah, okay. So it took it down. I think betting small there kind of accomplishes the same thing as betting bigger. That's why I didn't bet too much. We've got a suited 1 gapper here. I'll raise that 4-handed. We do get 3-bet again. Different player this time. This guy flat calls, so this is a good multi-way hand. So I think, you know, calling a $1.25 to win 45, we're getting pretty good odds here. I'm gonna call, and we flop the nuts, which is great. You know, makes poker easy. This board could get scary quickly. So like if he c-bets, I was thinking I'd check raise right on the flop instead of delaying my c-bet. This guy bets out huge. Now the question is, there's the flush draw out there is like the only concern. I'm gonna slow play this now. Like it was different on the flop compared to the turn. Like it had to do with what this guy had. I'm just gonna call here and slow play it. We have the second nuts now, so like Jack 9 beats us, but I don't think he'd bet that big with Jack 9 on the flop on the turn there. So he really liked his hand. I'm gonna bet kind of on the bigger side. Let's see here if we get paid off. And then I'm gonna bump this one up to 3x. If he comes over the top, like we're calling, we're only losing to yeah, he has at 10, so we had the nuts. This nuts on the flop. Paired it, board didn't pair. Set's no good. Graham says blind versus blind online is stupid hard. Yeah, it seems like it. Okay, so we flop a gutter ball. This is a good board for us to c-bet though. I'm gonna bet. Oops, I'll bet half pot here. And then the right, this was limped pot. I'm only in it because he limped in. Yeah. I'm not surprised to see the check raise. So it's a pretty big raise. It's like, $4.25 to win, $13. Like we're really just hoping to hit a jack at this point if we continue. I doubt he has ace king since he didn't 4-bet us after we 3-bet. Yeah, I don't think he has ace king, so an ace might be a good out. He could have a king jack. If he has a king jack, that's one of our outs. The jack in his hand. Yeah, I don't think we can continue here. I'd like to. If we were deep stacked, I would. But we're just not, so I'll give it up. If this was suited, I'd limp it in. I'm not going to. I'm gonna wrap up the stream in a few minutes here. I've got work starting in 30 minutes. I'm gonna make sure my daughter has breakfast and all that. So I think what I'll do is let's see here. I'll do one more orbit on the left here, and then I'll sit out my next big blind on the right here since we're kind of just past the big blind here. Yeah, Graham likes that straight flop hand. Yeah, that was a good one. Big fan of that. Yeah, Villa didn't have aces, but the other player flopping a set is pretty good too. As we're wrapping up the stream, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about the how I play today. Like, what do you think of the basis of this stream? Is it something you'd like to see regularly? Would you watch regularly? If I continue to do this, let me know your thoughts. This is just something I'm kind of trial running. Both the stream and the playing online. I don't really play online much historically. Like I have a long time ago, but consider myself a losing player online in the past. So let me know what you think. This is just something silly and fun to do for me. I will defend the ace here. Give me your thoughts as the stream wraps up. I'm happy to do it again if you like it and enjoy watching it. If not, yeah, maybe we'll try something else next time. Not going to continue here. He shows more interest in the hand. We just have an ace. How does the big blind just flat with pocket tens there? I don't know. Yeah, tens is one of those. I do that live sometimes. Like I'll flat pocket tens out of position versus like a single raise. If it's just like it was the button though that raised, right? So I think like I would 3-bet that out of the blinds with the button being the raiser. But it's one of those ones that's just like, it's hard to play post flop, like any overcard you don't like to see, and there's 4 overcards that could possibly come, I mean like 10 jack queen king ace being the 4. I mean, so really like 16 cards that could come on the flop that you're not excited about. Otherwise you want to flop a 10, and even if cards below your 10s come out, you're always worried about somebody having an overpair. So it's one of those hands that like I think I could learn to play a bit better. If this was suited here on the right, I would raise it. But yeah, I probably play 10s wrong more than any other hand, I would say, is my guess. Arguably, I play some of those odd hands, like you saw me play, like, what was it, King 7 suited, stuff like that. I probably play those wrong too. But in terms of like the hands that I legitimately should be playing, pocket 10s is probably one of the ones that I tend to get wrong more often than not, would be my guess. Playing live more than online, obviously it's hard to track your individual hands as much. You don't have the recording, the like poker tracker software that records all your hands, and you can view the stats easily. So, kind of guesstimating based upon my personal subjective experience, my memories. We'll sit out the next big blind on the left board as well, next table as well. So we've got one more hand left on the right table, and then 2 or 3 more on the left table, and then we'll wrap up the stream. All right, so we wrapped up the right table here. I'm gonna go ahead and close that one, and we'll get our last 2 hands here on the left. And then we'll just take a look at how we did in terms of our monetary results. I started the day with, I think it was like 489 or something like that was in my account. I told you I put $500 on to Bovada yesterday. It ended up being a little less than that because of the cryptocurrency transactional fees. It was like $4 and change to get it on there. So it was like 496 that I ended up with on there. And then I kind of dunked around a little bit yesterday just to get familiar with the software again, and familiar with online a little bit and the recording software and all that I was playing around. So I lost like $6 or $7 yesterday just kind of playing around. So I had I think it was 489 if I remember correctly, 489 and change when I started the day. I can go back and look later on, but it was something like that. So we'll see in just a minute here what we end up with. Abe, you're always down for more Huggy content. Awesome. Thanks for joining today. Yeah, I'll try to do more of these then. And I'm probably just going to continue with these Microstakes, not try to do anything big beyond, maybe like 25 cent or 50 cent. But this is one of the hands where if I wasn't under the gun, I'd probably raise it and want to get involved. But I'm just going to fold it here and we'll call it a day. All right, so let's take a look at where we ended up. So we're at, let me see here if I can pull this up over here. So we are at 532.44 at the end of the day, and we started, I said it was around 49, so I made 43 bucks, give or take, for the day. So not bad for just playing around and splashing around for an hour in the Microstakes. So yeah, thanks for joining, thanks for watching. I'll try to do some of these occasionally if I can. Every now and then. I can't promise a schedule or anything like that. It kind of depends on what each day looks like, but I'll try to set it up so that you can see on YouTube when one's coming ahead of time, like I did for this last one. So anyway, thanks for watching, joining along. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.